Smith it himself while in jail.
Yeah.
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
You are, in fact, watching The Dorkening.
You're watching The Dorkening. Stay tuned.
For all the geek news everywhere. Dorkening.
And this is The Dorkening. Trust me, I'm smarter than these guys.
Because The Dorkening is the best and most educational entertainment and information source that the Trauma team knows of. It's the best. The Dorkening.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. There's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Hey, happy Tuesday, everybody. You're watching Splash Pages. My name's Leo. I'm the monkey behind the keyboard here. We have an awesome show scheduled for you. As always, we're going to be talking about everything in the comic world that's going on right now, comic news. We're going to cover some awesome toys this week. Who knows what else we'll talk about? You never know. Velvet, how's it going, bud?
Good evening. Hey, it's your man. It's Tuesday night. Velvet J, right here. The Throwback King here on Tuesday because it's 8 o'clock and I'm dancing around because it's time to rock.
Dear God.
Yeah.
Mr. Drew.
Yeah, how can I follow that up? Hi, I'm Drew. I'm tired. We got a great show. move on.
And peanut butter do you jelly? I'm going to sandwich you between Jar Jar.
Oh my God. We're here. We're ready. It's
Superman!
Tuesday night. Ba, 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 ba.
Oh,
Is that a Superman sweater?
That
It
is so
is. It's an ugly Christmas sweater being worn well after Christmas. You got to tell Brandon where to get one of those. I feel like that's something he would wear.
Oh, let me think. I don't even remember where I got it from, to tell you the truth. I'm
he's
sure if I go
And he's
back.
looking very aerodynamic. He looks like he's got a fresh cut.
I know. Did the snowblower like do a
I
quick
ran right
pass?
into it. I went into the place and I was like, all right, I'm no good when I go to get a haircut. They actually have everything written down for me at the place. So like I don't have to talk, because we all know how we all are. And I go in, and for some reason she couldn't find my stuff. And I'm like, well, I know the sides are like a 2 for the clipper. I'm like, the top I want kind of like, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch, 1.5 inches, somewhere around there. She's like, well, the number 6 is 3/4 of an inch. I was like, okay. Oh,
That's a 6.
that's a 6.
Yeah, it looks like she scalped you.
That
Yeah,
looks
it
lower
felt
than
like
a
it.
6 because yeah.
He's looking very aerodynamic. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, he looks very
she hit me
futuristic.
hard.
He's like one of those future Supermen that we saw.
That has to be like a 2 or a 3.
Dude, I'm telling you, I was just like, I looked at her, I was just like, are you sure you changed the head?
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me, Jeremy, because of your height and everything, I have an ideal costume suggestion for Halloween 2023 for you and your lady, Dr. Honeydew and Beaker.
Oh my God, that would be so cool.
You know, because
That
I'm
is
just
not a
imagining.
bad idea.
I'm just imagining you at exactly just you at a con and her and just beep, 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 beep. Oh, okay, Beaker, that sounds like a great idea.
Jeremy, will you be wearing that sweater this weekend?
I was
at your
just
big
thinking I might
event.
do that at GamerCon at Mohegan Sun this weekend, Saturday the 18th and Sunday the 19th, where Bill Hader has sadly had to pass because he is sick, but now we have the voice of Arthur Morgan going.
Oh, no way.
Yes,
That's
which
awesome.
I can't remember his name, so he's going to be the voice of Arthur Morgan.
Cool.
But also Kyle Hebert is going to be there. Caitlin Glass is going to be there. Marta Svatek is going to be there. I'm going to be there. It's going to be tons of fun with all the gaming and stuff, because I believe there's competitions for that. What's the brothers, the Smash Brothers game? There's competitions for all sorts of stuff. Like it's going to be a pretty crazy weekend. Plus, they have some kind of crazy DJ going to be there doing all sorts of.
Yeah, they have like D&D games, Magic the Gathering, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay,
Tabletop games, video games.
All right,
Drew, you should come.
Yeah, I'm good. But listen, here's the important thing, is that we were going to spend the rest of the week coaching you, making sure you are so freaking ready that you walk in with that video game swag that,
Game swag.
there you go.
Got his notes. He's ready to go.
That man is ready. Just remember, notes are one thing. Flashcards are a sign of weakness. Don't go flashcards.
No. I'm gonna sit there with my big old notes. I'm gonna actually get the.
Wait. What's wrong with flashcards?
Flashcard, you can lose flashcards. It's harder to lose notes.
You should have seen me with flashcards at one of the horror cons. It was funny.
I'm never good with this. Yes, that guy. I'm never good with pointing at these things. I always look like I'm pointing up. At least I can get that right.
Wait, what the hell are you
Velvet's got
doing?
a whole disco going on.
I'm just trying to find the right lighting source.
Yeah, I feel like listen. You know, guys, we do not want to trigger any of our guests who could seriously epilepsy. Can we not? Like,
all right.
either that or if you're going to do that, Rich, you got to have music on. So we all, it's a Splash Page dance party. You know.
You guys think we could do a whole barbershop quartet?
If we do, I'm sorry, it has to be when the Muppets did it to Nirvana, because that shit was just killing me.
Oh my god, hell
Well,
yeah!
You know,
there is a professional barber quartet in the family, isn't there, Leo?
Well, she's not really a quartet, but
oh boy,
yeah.
Can you tell them what I'm talking about, please?
You talking about Megan?
Yeah, your wife.
Yeah.
What?
Doesn't she sing in that sort of fashion?
Yeah.
No kidding. That's
I was in a
cool.
barbershop quartet once.
Yeah, she what's the I think they're called the Ho Sisters.
The Ho Sisters, like H-O?
Yeah.
Hostess sisters, maybe.
Hold on.
Wow.
How do you not know this?
You
We're
were
in
the
trouble,
worst.
Leo.
You were the worst hype man husband ever.
For real.
You embarrassed. No wonder she won't come on the show.
Yeah,
My
like
God, man.
I gave him a softball. I was waiting for him to like knock it out of the park, and he's like,
Yeah.
She does something.
She does something with her voice. She singing.
She's one of the Ho Sisters.
Yeah, just when I was like,
Okay, I'm gonna find out the actual name.
She's got a gig at the truck stop.
Yeah, they she has two friends that come over, and when they sing, it's incredible.
Really?
You know, I'll be up here in my office. I hear this
so cool.
incredible music coming down.
So it's
or
like a
when she has
barbershop
free time.
trio.
let me guess. Do you when you come in with cookies and hey up, how are my hoes doing? What's going on?
Yeah.
How you guys going? You know, I'm sorry, Leo.
There's
until
some
you find the
hoes
right
in
name,
this
we're never
house.
letting you
There's
live
some
this down.
hoes in this house. There's some hoes in this house.
Oh no! Excuse me, Richard. You have to little hoes in this house. You know, thank you. But
one of them calls in sick. Wear a hoe down. Oh no.
No, no. You got to distinguish if it's a hoedown or a hootenanny. Big difference, Jeremy. But as we're enjoying this banter, I hate to be the one to be directional, but is there any news we have before we get to the book? News.
Yes. So we have some congratulations. Although I rarely ever pay attention to the Oscars,
I'm proud of you.
Pay attention because the 2015 Terrificon guest that I met, Mr. Ki Kwan, won Best Supporting Actor, and did a really emotional and lovely speech.
I cried.
His co-star, Michelle Yeoh, won the first ever Best Actress in the Best Actress category, an Asian actress. So that is pretty amazing. So bravo to her.
And
yes,
amazing. This is
Rich. We also have to give props to their co-star Jamie Lee Curtis, winning Best Supporting Actress for the same movie. Long overdue. Absolutely happy for her.
Is this her first?
This is her first in her entire career, and I mean, trust me, she's done more than enough great work. I'm just glad she finally got
True Lies alone.
Yeah, I thought she won something for True Lies.
Well, point being is this is a long overdue award, in my opinion. Now, I do know, and I got to acknowledge this, that there is a little backlash going on with some people, because some people feel that the person who deserved the award was Angela Bassett, who was there and also made a notable history, being one of the first Marvel movies, that would be Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, ever being nominated for an award like that.
Yeah, she did a brilliant job in that movie. Really moving.
True story. And honestly, if it had been I'm thrilled Jamie Lee got it, but if Angela had also gotten it, I would have said it's still well deserved. So I know that there's some backlash going on there. Again, I'm always, we're always up for debate. in terms of things. It's, many a time we've seen a truly amazing movie get snubbed for some choice. I was like, I have no idea why this didn't, but that it is what it is. We have to remember that the Oscars are chosen by a committee. It's not just one person saying my favorites. So it's unfortunate. And we love Angela Bassett, also a talented actress who definitely has earned her dues and whatnot. I wanted to acknowledge that as well. I know that that's an ongoing discussion in the nerd community.
Absolutely.
So,
and wrapping up in the nerd-related Oscar wins was Brendan Fraser for The Whale.
Yeah, his acceptance speech was amazing.
Right, and I guess he peppered in a bunch of things that were related to whales in his speech, which I guess is kind of comical.
That's funny.
Yeah, but he's
that movie was really good. I don't know if everybody's seen it.
I wasn't ready to cry, so I'm not ready to see it yet.
I haven't, but I'm ready soon. I'll get there.
It's definitely worth the watch.
There was one thing I wanted to point out. I don't know if either of you caught this watching the show, because we know the host was Jimmy Kimmel. He did point out that both Key and Brendan Fraser were both in Encino Man. And he was like, man, like what's Pauly Shore doing? And Pauly Shore did offer online, I don't know which of his social media, he did offer his congrats to both of them and had a photo of them in Encino Man. And I was like, oh, that's nice. But I was like, hey, listen, if Tommy Wiseau can be up on the stage kind of helping to accept an award, there's hope for Pauly Shore one day, right?
Well, hey, look at Andrew Dice Clay. That dude came out of obscurity to become kind of respected these days. So I'm sure Pauly Shore. I mean, Pauly Shore also runs the Laugh Factory and stuff.
Yeah, he's going to be just fine. He's running his mother's empire, who passed away.
Yeah.
He's going to be just fine.
Yeah.
We are going to have a connection with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah. I wanted to do it so bad, but I'm like, I'm not Brandon.
Oh yeah, right. He was the one who corrected me. Right. Sorry, Brandon.
No. Coming up, one of our guests is going to be the gentleman who took over for him in George's Jungle.
Right.
Oh, shit.
Right. Yeah. That's happening in May. Right? May, April? I don't know.
I think April.
And by the way, side note, gentlemen, I finally did it. I did email Tony Harris and Michael Reese.
Nice.
So when they get back to me with some dates, I'll let you know. But that's two more great guests that we could have on there. So let's just Infinity Stone collection this year. Just, bam. Let's just fill it up with all these great guests.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of Leo, is there like forms we can fill out to win more awards? We have just that lonely one award. Is there like a PO box we send like, hi, look at our show?
We gotta find other podcast awards that are going on. Okay,
cool. Add it to the list. All right.
Google alert.
Yeah. What other news do you guys have? For once, I have no deaths, so I won't be bringing it down. I hate you all.
Well, my last one is I sent the link. I don't know in the chat, Leo. I don't know if you can share it or not. But in South by Southwest a couple of days ago, they premiered the retractable lightsaber. So it actually looks like in the movies type lightsaber. It's pretty impressive. I know they've been upping the technology the last couple of years, but this.
You think they got it to do that? That is like so cool.
You can't fight with it.
There you go.
I don't care. You can swing it around though, right? At least if you don't hit anything.
You know what this means.
So this, I saw a video of this at what is it? What's the Star Wars in Disney?
D3?
Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah,
D23.
Yeah, so it was Ray doing a scene, a Ray lookalike, and you could see like she had one of those, and like she went behind something, and you could tell like she switched out that one with a fighting one. But yeah, it's that's really cool.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what it costs, but it's pretty cool. It's like,
yeah, Rich, I can tell you how much it costs. Not in our lifetime.
Yeah, I remember when the glass ones came out. I was super stoked to see them. I was just like, "Oh my god!"
But
it was like
and those were like $300 to $500,
for,
right?
Were they? I thought it was around 2, but maybe it was more like 3.
But you guys know what this means, right? We are getting closer to energy-related weapons, which means ray guns, blasters, and if we're just working on some energy level shit, that means my beloved proton packs should be on the list somewhere. So this is exciting.
If we're getting a ray gun, what about an Egon gun?
You know what, Leo? Leo,
that was so good.
Leo, I've told you.
That's the second time the button didn't work tonight, Leo. What's going on with the button?
The button worked.
I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it either.
There
we go.
There we go.
Yeah.
This is just some good. Let the hate flow through you, Leo Pond. You know.
So that's all my news. What do you got, Leo?
So we have a new Lex Luthor. Entertainment Weekly released the first picture of Michael Cudlitz as Lex Luthor in the new Superman and Lois show.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
probably one of the scariest Lex Luthors we've had.
Yeah, that's the most metal Lex Luthor I've ever seen. Look at that. He looks like an older version of Matthew McConaughey's character in Reign of Fire.
He looked like he could headbutt your ass.
Yeah.
Reign of Fire was a dope movie, by the way. I was thinking about that the other day where they were telling the story of Star Wars.
There you go. But okay,
so this is going to be the second Lex Luthor in Superman and Lois. We had a fake Lex Luthor.
Oh, no kidding.
Well, remember when Superman showed up in Supergirl? They had a stand-in fake one too. So this is just par for the course.
Supergirl had a Lex Luthor. It was from 3.5 Men, 2.5
Ducky.
Oh, Ducky.
No, Don Cryer. No, I know, but what I'm saying is when Supergirl premiered on NBC, they had some scenes where Superman was referenced, but of course they still couldn't use him, so they just like showed like a unconscious Superman, someone like kicking his boots, and I'm just like, oh yes, because nobody else can wear red boots and blue spandex. Yeah, thanks. You know, whatever. But I still stick to what I said, and I said this to Jeremy and Rich while you were out of the room temporarily, oh monkey behind the keyboard, that I still stick that Bryan Cranston would have made a fantastic Lex Luthor.
The Dorkies. I like that.
Tom, we've thought about it. You never know, might happen.
And the dork goes to...
And most puns go to Leo Pond. Come on down.
No, I think PJ would definitely get that.
100%.
Yeah, he's nonstop pun. He's like one big pun.
He's wonderful.
That's kind of true.
He's wonderful. But
Not
it was
all of them are great, but sometimes.
So, spoiler alert, if you're not caught up with Superman and Lois, when John Henry Irons popped up, he said he was Lex Luthor.
Yes, he did. I remember that.
It turned out he wasn't.
Oh, so
that's an interesting storyline. What did that? Well, I'll ask.
He came from an alternate universe.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And he where Superman went bad and like killed everybody.
You know,
so he's part of the Injustice.
Basically.
Kind of, yeah.
Speaking of comics news, I don't know if you guys. I believe we talked about this. The road to Injustice has started.
Yeah.
So I mean, I got to be honest. I was talking about this with one of my associates who works in a comic book shop near me, and we were talking about it. And it's just like such a cool idea. I mean, especially that the end point is Injustice Superman versus Ultraman. I'm like, wow, what a fight that's going to be.
Did you read last week's episode or issue?
Yeah.
Okay.
The John Kent issue? I haven't read it yet.
Oh, it's good. And speaking of, I actually have some comic news, something that came to me that I actually think is really worth noting. So DC has announced their plans for 2023's Pride this year. And yes, they have some covers and whatnot, and 2 or 3 related Pride books, but they've even got some hardcover books coming out celebrating DC's LGBTQ history. And honestly, I think it's definitely worth sharing. So I'll devote just a few minutes to this. So one of them, the official book will be DC Pride 2023. It's a 104-page special edition sharing several characters. So you got Harley, Poison Ivy, Crush, who I believe is Lobo's daughter, John Kent, John Constantine, Tim Drake, Connor Hawke, Circuit Breaker, who I believe is one of the Flashes. There's so many to keep track of. Some really interesting stories going there.
Question, Drew. I'm sorry, I have to interrupt.
Go for it.
Who had a child with Lobo?
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know who the mom is.
No,
I don't even know
idea.
if they need mothers.
Okay, because that does not sound like fun sex.
No, it does not.
No, it does not. Another book will be DC Pride.
I'm glad we're all together on that. None of us want to have sex with Lobo.
No, God, no. That's a pastiche that I do not want to cross.
What if it was Jason Momoa?
You know what, Leo? You're distracting me from my nudes. So, DC Pride 2023 stories and teams. This comic actually is definitely worth noting because it's going to feature a story about Dreamer, which is written by Nicole Maines, who portrayed the character, herself being a transgender actress, and I believe the same thing for her character on Supergirl. So this is one of those stories, which I believe is something similar in the same line of Kevin Conroy last year writing his story about Batman and coming out, because I myself, it didn't really bother me, but I was like, wow, I did not know that he was a gay man. I was like, no idea. I had no idea, and I was like, nope, doesn't affect anything. He's still Batman. But let's see. There are a few stories here. We're gonna have.
Did you say you had no news?
I know. I was just like, holy crap! For a guy who had no news, you're like,
you guys got to give me 5 minutes. I'll find something. So, but the other big thing.
Oh my God!
Is that,
could you imagine the show after a week of him searching?
Yeah, you'd never get me to shut up. Well, the other great thing to note is that I think this is Grant Morrison is returning to Multiversity, which I don't know if you guys. Yeah, thank you, Jeremy. Multiversity was a small limited series that he did with a bunch of one shots about the multiverse, all written by Grant Morrison, all in his particular fashion, each one a different artist. Jeremy, I'm not sure what era of DC that was, but
I believe that was right before the New 52.
Yes, it was, because it's
true. Grant can be a pretty wacky at times. So, what was the writing style on those?
He sometimes he believes he's a wizard, right?
No, that's Alan Moore.
Well, I thought they both did.
Grant Morrison just has done so many psycho effect, hallucinogen and affecting drugs. Which, if you've ever read his work,
was great on Doom Patrol.
Yeah, Jeremy, I'm just gonna say here, and side note, if you really want a real trip, read Morrison's Doom Patrol. It's the one book that I actually think was too weird for me to finish. That's all I'm saying.
It is freaking odd.
It is a weird book. Let's see what else is there.
And that says something coming from someone who loved Next Wave. So
I love Next Wave so much. Now, there is a hardcover that's coming out May 16th. That's called DC's Book of Pride. So it's an illustrated hardcover that profiles more than 50 LGBTQIA characters. Harley, John Kent, Nubia, Tim Drake, Batwoman, Aquaman, Dreamer, Circuit Breaker, who I guess is a new character, and many more. So this is authored by writer Jedzia Axelrod, who authored Galaxy, the Prettiest Stars. So it's going to illustrate the histories, the origins, and powers of DC's leading queer superheroes and supervillains. So that coming out May 16th. And there's one other book. It's called DC Pride Through the Years, which is an 80-page book. It's a special edition comic. So it's basically collecting 3 issues. The Flash issue number 53, where Pied Piper comes out to the Flash. Detective 854, which was the first solo Batwoman comic. Batwoman later revealing that she is a lesbian superhero. And then Superman 19, which tells the story of Lee Serrano, who's a non-binary teenager who befriends the Girl of Steel. And there also will be a new story featuring Alan Scott, who, as we know, is the Golden Age Green Lantern, who within, I believe, the last couple of years came out as being gay. This arrives in the store June 13th. And there also will be a bunch of, in May, of Pride covers for a few characters there. I'm sorry, Leo, I didn't have time to send you the list of the images, but you got John Kent, Batman Incorporated, Detective Comics 1073, Green Arrow, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, Nightwing, Spirit World, the Superman issue 5, Tim Drake Robin, Wonder Woman 800. Yes, everyone, Wonder Woman is hitting her milestone in May of issue 800. And so that's my news. So, I agree with this art where I saw this. It's really amazing how much DC is really putting so much more into this than Marvel is. Like, I don't really recall such a big presence for Marvel for Pride as the way DC's been putting in. So definitely pick that up, Marvel. So that's only news I had. So nice. I don't know about you guys. What else?
Well, you touched on it a little bit, so we're entering Dawn of DC, and there was an interview I was reading about. So we know that they're going to have Injustice Superman, but apparently he's not going to be the only main villain. But if you read last week's John Kent issue, just beginning, I don't want to spoil the whole thing, but obviously they're bringing in Injustice Superman. Apparently he can travel the multiverse. And there's one scene where, sorry, Velvet?
Yeah, Leo, I just want to be clear with this because it seemed confusing on our last episode. When you say Injustice Superman, you don't mean the Superman from the Injustice universe. You mean Ultraman, correct?
No, he means
the Superman from the Injustice universe?
Yeah.
And Ultraman is going to be in this? Both of them?
From the Crime Syndicate world, which would be
okay. So they're both in the series. Okay, I just wanted to be clear on that. Thank you, Leo. Please continue.
He's holding Superman by the head. Did I talk about this last week?
I think you did. This sounds oddly familiar.
Okay, so forget that.
Yeah, because he's got him by the throat,
and it's story time. Damn it!
And he has him by the throat, and it's Lois. I said, "You always talk about Lois," and then,
oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
he snaps. Yeah,
snaps his neck or burns his eyeballs out, or just something very violent.
Oh yeah.
It's very injustice-y, Yes. So toy.
Yeah, McFarlane is. They have new Batman 66 toys coming out.
Wow. I wonder what's his name. I might pick that King Tut up just for we all know this
for Joe
player that that would be really cool present for him.
Is that the Batmansion?
Light up.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have the whole villains sets and everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, the villain set as well. Yeah, so there's the red phone. So the statue, the head actually pops up.
Oh no kidding!
You need to actually do it, but the actual bookcase will slide over to reveal the back holes.
That's super cool.
And they have the Bat Cave.
Yeah, a Batcave is an earlier phase or release. So it's on Amazon right now, but it's it might be a little hard to find.
Oh, Target has a ton of them.
Yeah, so at Target?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of these are Target only releases.
Do you know of the area, like they have the adult collector toys?
Yeah.
That's where you find this stuff.
Okay. McFarlane's like, I'm going for the mass market. F the niche market.
I'm going for those older collectors.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love going into the Targets now. They have like a lot of cool adult toys. Adult toys, huh? Yeah, that sounded really bad.
Yeah.
I said it. They have toys meant for us older adults that collect these toys.
Yeah, thank you, Jeremy. That was so much better. Yeah. Yes, Robin, get the bat dildo now.
Gee Willikers, Batman!
So this set here comes with 4 figures.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, with the lunchbox.
I was going to say with the lunchbox.
So the adult toys come with 4 fingers. Is that what Leo said?
4 fingers. Maybe a fist.
I love that they come with little like bam pow.
Yeah, it's the little details.
Is the King Tut available to order?
Yep, pre-order right now.
All right, fantastic.
Well, we know what he's doing after the show.
Yes.
No, that's super cool. If my dad, who's the biggest fan I remember, was a collector, I'd be pre-ordering those right now. So.
Indeed.
And he's always going. Anytime I talk about Batman, my father would always be like, "Oh, in the '60s show," and I'm just like, "Oh my god, Dad, it was like it's over 50 years ago."
Well, Robin,
Batman got a lot more serious. It's always like, "Oh, King Tut or Mr. Freeze or the Riddler," and I'm like, "Oh my god."
It was a great show. We loved it.
Drew, are you mocking your father for being
No.
a nerd?
No, I'm not mocking him. It's funny when I try to explain that how much Batman has changed. It always comes back to Batman 66.
He just loves that era. That's his thing.
I know. It's just so funny because we'll just be talking, and I think I'll have got him hooked on something else, and he's like, "Well, this." I'm like, "Oh my god." And here we are back to the beginning.
Supergirl.
Is that Kara Zor-El? Is that from Injustice?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So McFarlane has released a
or these pre-order page punchers.
Yep, page punchers.
Oh, sweet.
What does that mean? Page
punchers. They come with
page
comic
punchers?
books.
Yep.
They come with comic books. Oh, I get so excited.
Oh.
Like I have all the 3-inch ones. Hold on.
Okay,
these smaller ones,
they
come with these little figures, but
Right.
they all come with a comic book too. And to me, that just makes everything so cool. Like the Batman one comes with a Batman 608, I think it is the first Jim Lee cover.
The Hush cover, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a Rebirth Batman now too. That's
I know. I saw that.
Nice. Okay.
So
That's
Leo,
cool.
are any of those on your list?
No, but I have to tell you. So I showed you this before the show. My NECA Alf just showed up.
Very cute.
So cool.
Oh my god, I think I may be addicted to NECA.
Yeah, you can't bring
Does he
Alf
come
over
with
to
a
my
cat?
house. I have 2 cats.
He comes with a popcorn
kill
bucket,
me.
glasses, and a cat sandwich.
Ooh.
I can't.
Yeah. You leave him over there.
You are a bagel.
But I'm shocked at the
You are
quality of the NECAs. Like, I
Yeah,
mean,
that's really detailed.
That looks really good for that size.
yeah. So I've been looking at other NECA figures.
Do Do you have that on your desk? Because I'm sorry, if I had like an ALF to look at, I would never get annoyed at work. Well, I would just see that and just, you are a bagel. There you go.
Great.
There you go. Prove it. See, if I ever find somebody who's dressed as an Ewok at a convention, it's going to be very odd if I come across this like, excuse me, can you hold on a second? I have somebody who needs this. I was like, can you tackle my friend? I feel like it'd be really funny to say, I got attacked by an Ewok. I'm like, were you drunk? And thank you, Leo, because of you, I've been able to rewatch the Star Wars Ewok movies, and by God, that was an interesting time in Star Wars.
Oh, I still like those. Those are
no,
my
they're great.
childhood dreams, or not dreams, but like it was just so good. It was like a little kid could be part of the Star Wars universe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Jeremy, you were one of those people who used a yardstick to pretending it was a lightsaber, weren't you?
I used everything as a lightsaber. The roll from the wrapping paper, friggin' anything that stood out this long and could hold. Yeah.
And J-Bo chiming in because, of course, we're talking about toys, and he's upset he's not involved.
J-Bo, you have an open invitation whenever you want to come on. If there's comic news like there was today.
I saw some of those D&D figures, and I wanted to grab them, but God, they're way too expensive for what they are.
Some of them been falling apart.
Yeah, he returned all the dice. He gave a poor site review on that and returned them right away.
Yeah.
Those dice that turned into figures.
Oh,
they
that reminds me.
Cool, and I was just like, they're asking way too much for those.
Yeah.
And that reminds me, J-Bo came back. We was at a con recently. He came back with a new toy. He came back, what was it? Was it Layla from Lola from Obi-Wan?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I didn't even know they made that. Oh my God. Man, when this guy does not like something, he is just gonna burn it down.
So
garbage, do not buy.
I'm getting a little concerned about the state of comics.
What do you mean?
Well, it seems like we're getting a lot of items being rehashed. A lot of reprints are coming out lately. Seems every week there's a special reprint. It looks like this is coming out this
Batman
week.
350 or 3 something came out.
Is that recently. The first appearance of Wolverine and fighting the Hulk?
No, isn't that Hulk 181?
Oh yeah, that is Hulk 181. Thank you, Jeremy.
No,
it's just a famous.
No. That's not
no. This is a McFarlane cover,
right?
But they recreated a McFarlane cover for Hulk number 13, which I believe is out this week.
Okay.
Oh, it's just an homage cover.
Yeah,
it's not the. Oh, they do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like they'll have a whole like Neil Adams month, and they'll do a ton of homage covers for him. I love it. Actually, sometimes they come out really cool.
I mean,
I think both Marvel and DC, they try to appeal to the collectors, and then of course they try to also appeal to the rubes. And some of the collectors sometimes will get rubed out, and there's a little cross pollination there, but that's all part of business.
Okay,
I'm telling you, if they were putting out 30 covers for the He-Man books right now, I'd be buying every single one.
Well,
they only put out 3.
Well, listen, Jeremy, take it from Leo. Impulse control on how many covers you buy is probably a good thing.
Mm-hmm. It's He-Man. I'll buy it all.
Yeah, we know.
Bring me the He-Man.
But no, Leo, the thing I'm concerned at is I feel comics are not worth as much now. And you know why? I got a theory about that.
They cost so much more.
That too. Yeah. But I'll explain why. So I went to my local comic shop, right? And I found, all 4 issues of Cosmic Odyssey. And that was and I think I've told you guys about this. It's that Jim Starlin, Mike Mignola DC event. It was 4 issues, whatnot. I got them overall $20. And that's about 5 an issue, right? And the issue when it was sold was like $3.50. So I'm like, okay, this is actually a really good deal. This is good quality, everything like that. And I'm reading it, and I'm like, man, this it's just so good. But I'm just thinking about it, like, wow, like that's such a good deal. These books are still in great quality and everything. But I'm thinking about how many issue ones do I own? You know, that's what I'm thinking about. And that's what's really killed comics, in my opinion, is that we keep relaunching, and then we do it for a little bit, and then eventually it goes back to the original numbering because we want to make that big bucks for that issue 800, issue 9,000. You know, that's the problem.
And then we go back to a number one. So those people who can't understand that issue 800, even though we're starting a new story arc, can be a great jumping on point.
Right.
Well, Drew, essentially that was the reason that I stopped collecting new comics, because I think it was DC, both DC and Marvel within a year had rebooted. It was around like one or two reboots after New 52, and then Marvel did the same thing. And I was like, I'm good. You guys are killing me. I'm just going to go back and read all the storylines that I've never read and enjoy all the good old storylines, which now we do on this show. So, yay me, saving money.
There are so many good old storylines too that we haven't touched, which I would never even have realized if not for you guys.
Well,
yeah.
but that's the thing, Rich, and I totally agree with you. I mean, when I look back at how much money I was spending back in the day to compare to how much now, my God, am I being cost effective? Much to the chagrin of the comic book industry. I just honestly, you know, and I was so against it in the past. Now I really do like reading books online. And like I said, if I really like a book, you know, especially I hate to say like a book that we've reviewed, I'm going to go out and buy it. Like I'm most likely going to buy a copy of Batman Noel because I really enjoyed reading it. Thank you, Mr. Pond. You know, and I've recommended it to other people. It was great. And it's the same thing like when I talk to, you know, occasionally we are in touch with people who watch our show and whatnot. And they're like, oh yeah, I had no idea this series was out. And I read it, you know, like hell, we reviewed Sex Criminals last week. Our guest, Carrie, she read the first arc and then she read the whole damn series and she loved it. It was just, you know, people, that's like Jeremy pointed out. This is what, you know, we do that's well. It's that we're reminding people of what's out there. It's not just what DC and Marvel are putting out right now. It's also the other guys. It's also stuff they put out that you didn't even really know that set the foundation for what the current DC and Marvel are building upon. And, you know, it's just pretty cool, man. So
I was a lot like you where I wouldn't read digital for a long time. I was like, I want the hard copy in my hands. I want to smell it. I got to have that print. Man, as soon as I went digital, there was no turning back. It's pretty. Don't get me wrong. I still pick up the hard copies of like Batman, He-Man, stuff like that I read religiously. Right. But like other stuff, I'm just like, oh, let me go over to the Kindle.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. You know, like I loved like Velvet recommended White Knight. I've read all that digitally, but would I buy it in hard? Oh, absolutely. They did like an ultimate White Knight hardcover edition.
Hardcover book, that'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm sorry if that, I swear we're all gonna chip in. Velvet, there you go. That's Christmas, birthday, Hanukkah.
Hell yeah.
All that wrapped into one.
I would cherish that so much.
I'd like them to do like kind of like what they did with the last Dark Knight series, where they put it into the hardcovers, each one into a hardcover, and then the blinds all made a picture.
Right.
I love that. That would be really cool.
Speaking of news, and Leo, you reminded me of this earlier. We are on the last episode of The Last of Us, and what a show! I'm so thrilled.
Oh, it's finishing?
The last episode came out recently, right, Leo?
Fantastic.
Yes, Sunday the finale came out.
Yeah, and I'm all caught up. I just have to watch the last one. But my God, that is you've heard it from me. That is one of the best video game adaptations to live action I've ever watched.
Right, and Pedro Pascal double banging it because the first two episodes of Mandalorian have been pretty badass.
Oh,
themselves.
It's been great.
And Bo-Katan, woof, man, she is really showing her action.
I wanted to wait to the last episode to start that. So please, no spoilers.
Yeah, no
spoilers. The last episode was
very
crazy, though. crazy. I can't wait for the one that's about to come out tonight, but the last one was intense. I had the adrenaline running at the last like 10 minutes of the show. It was good.
So just a heads up for people that may be confused while watching this, Jon Favreau has stated that Grogu was in training for 2 years with Luke.
Oh, so the time has been about 2 years?
He was in training for 2 years.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
That makes sense that his force powers are at what they are.
J-Bo, it's either Grogu or Baby Yoda, or you could do Baby Yoda Grogu.
Baby Yoda Grogu.
You also accept little green guy.
Little green guy.
I call him a murderer.
Disney marketing genius.
He wasn't a murderer.
He's a murderer. He's eating people's babies and stuff.
No, they weren't. They weren't fertilized yet.
Oh, they weren't fertilized.
Yeah, that was the thing. They needed
so
to get.
He just ate the possibility of life.
Yeah,
exactly.
There was a possibility of life.
Neil's like, if it's cute, it's okay.
It was the last eggs that she could produce, and then
you know what? You know what, Jeremy? You know what? Hold on, Leo. You know what, Jeremy? If I ever see you eating ribs or chicken or something like that, I'm judging you. I'm like,
oh, I'm a murderer.
Yeah, exactly. I'm about to say, like, you man.
He was eating frogs and stuff, like.
Yeah, I'm afraid to like anything smaller than that kid's hand.
Yeah,
and it's alive. He's gonna eat it.
Oh yeah, well that's why all the spiders attacked in the second season.
Yeah, that was a great episode.
The whole show. But I mean, I have no problem saying that's my favorite Star Wars product. I think maybe ever.
Oh yeah.
Mando is just that to me is I was like, I'll say, you know what, I'll say it, I'll be honest, and I don't really care who gets upset about it. That saved Star Wars for me because I'm sorry, the last trilogy left a bad taste in my mouth, and I was just ready to walk away. But Mando came in, and I was just like.
And listen, if you guys are Star Wars geeks, look on YouTube. There's a recent chat between Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. They're such Star Wars nerds, and they're just having such a good time with their career and chatting about it.
Oh yeah, I've seen those videos.
It's very cool to be like the super fans of this stuff and being like, now we're creating the universes.
Yeah,
that's got to be amazing.
Jon Favreau started off Iron Man, the whole Iron Man in the MCU, and now he's doing Star Wars. I mean, what nerd fantasy is that? I mean,
for real.
Wah!
Well, I mean, I think it's just Rich. It's just an ongoing discussion of. It's just an ongoing discussion of fans sometimes do it better, and the best example of that would be, in my mind, Henry Cavill is The Witcher. You know, he was such a big fan, you know, that he really made Geralt his own. And the reason that he left the show was because he had some serious issues with them deviating from the source material.
Yep.
You know, and he warned them. He said, if you guys keep doing it, I'm out. And they were like, they called his bluff, and he was like, nope, I'm done. So, you know.
Well, it's same. Well, not the same, but like, you know, he's very careful about the projects he picked. That's why he picked Warhammer, because he plays Warhammer.
And Leo, so many nerds were so happy when he's like, oh, I want to do a Warhammer movie. Even me, I was like, I've never played this. I've only seen this played. I was like, I'm sorry, what? What a glorious day.
He was on, I forgot, it was some, I think it was a British show or something like that, but he's talking about, they asked him about something, and he started, you know, he mentioned Warhammer, and he said, oh, he didn't want to geek out, and then turned out another guest does Warhammer. Then they started geeking out about paints and stuff like that. It was crazy.
Yeah, there you go. Prove my point. But fans just do it better. That's how it's always been. And they are all talking about Star Wars and the Mandalorian series. Are you narrating what we're doing, Jabo?
Yeah, he's just a step behind.
Oh, okay. I was just. All right. So, do you guys want to get to the book? I don't know if you have any other
news. Yes, sir.
Okay. Before we discuss this book, do you guys want me to give a little disclaimer about this? Because I was talking to one of our fans about it. She was a little confused about. Well, she also read both Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2, the sequel, so I was a little confused because there is a jump there. I can give a somewhat early disclaimer if you guys want with this.
Disclaim away, Drew.
Okay, so hello. Everyone.
I mean, excuse me. I mean, Screen Rant's Drew Mollo.
I hate you so much. So everybody,
Ghostbuster Man 1984.
I hate you guys so much. Let me talk
on Instagram.
All right, so Spider-Man is a 2012 miniseries written by Brian Michael Bendis, illustrated by Sarah Pichelli, which has
beautiful
the first
illustration.
Indeed. Also, brilliant, beautiful covers by Jim Cheung. Gotta always give him credit. And basically, this is the first official crossover between the mainstream, aka 616 universe, and the Ultimate Universe, aka Universe 1610. This was something that had been talked about for a while. And while this isn't the first crossover that the Ultimate Universe has seen, I believe one of those would have been the Squadron Supreme universe in the Mega Ultimate Power series, which was a few years ago, like 2009. This essentially has Miles Morales early in his career as the second Ultimate Spider-Man, meeting up with Peter Parker over their mutual enemy, Mysterio. And essentially, the disclaimer there, everybody, is that the version of Mysterio that we earlier saw in the Ultimate Universe is now revealed here to be a mind-controlled avatar for the 616 Mysterio. So not only did Spider-Man's Quentin Beck discover the Ultimate Universe through a rift in time, but he also created technology to essentially go to a parallel universe and attempt to create a criminal empire there. And this Mysterio got so powerful, he actually killed the Ultimate Universe's version of the Kingpin. So quite a formidable threat that the Ultimate Peter Parker faced a few times. This being the first time that, and this is also, by the way, Leo, if you could flip back just one page. This is one of my favorite scenes when Peter realizes who he is, and he's just like, "Oh God, no! I hate this guy." Like Bendis's dialogue. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Brian Michael Bendis's Ultimate era. This is one of my favorite stories that he did. The dialogue is just spot on. His humor for Peter, especially in Ultimate context, just fucking hilarious. Like this, I could literally hear, I don't know which voice, but I just hear this like, no, not this guy. I hate this guy. Like, and you know exactly who it is. You just see the dome head, like, oh fuck. Mysterio. So that's a disclaimer, everybody. There's really no point in time where this happens. But like I said, it is early in Miles Morales' career as seen in the series because he does not have his web shooters yet. That's something he's later given in his own series.
Which was very well, they kept making mention to it. So for a lot of foreshadowing.
Indeed. So I'm going to take a back seat. I would love to hear you guys, your thoughts about this, since I own this. I have met Bendis. I've met Sarah Pichelli. I have the whole series signed by them. And Jim Cheung, which I don't think surprises any of you. So I'm going to take a back seat. I want to hear your thoughts and go.
Wow.
Drew, I'll set it if you don't mind.
Please.
Or boys, if you don't mind. I thought the most interesting aspect of this storyline was the way Peter, our Peter 616, the way he's affected by going into an alternate universe. He knows things are wrong. He feels it's off, and he has to explore it. And even when he's told by different people, because number one, Mysterio is the bad guy in this, and Mysterio is known for causing illusions and confusion in one's mind. to the reality of what he's actually faced with. Now, I know Brian Michael Bendis is both loved and hated depending on what he's writing. But this was truly brilliant from that aspect. From an emotional standpoint, from a storyline aspect, and how he wraps the whole thing up in 5 issues, which honestly they could have stretched to 7 or 8, was nothing short of brilliant. So that is my first and most powerful aspect or realization of this story.
Jeremy, what did you think?
I totally agree with Rich. It was condensed. Some of the parts I felt were a little rushed, and I think they could have stretched this out another 2 to 3 issues, especially the different emotional
stop,
areas.
Leo, stop.
That is amazing artwork
That
right there.
This, like, I love when artists use splash pages. But my God, what a beautiful image! And not only that, that's a perfect amalgamation of both Miles and Peter's reality. I mean, just looking at that, you've got Omega Red, you've got the that's the Scorpion, that's the Prowler, you've got Electro, the Lizard, Hammerhead, Doc Ock, Carnage, and Venom. And it's just this great mix of both the Ultimate heroes and the mainstream heroes. But again, Sarah Pacelli, Italian artist, she is just stupendous. And my God, she just did such good work here. Like, beautiful.
Just real quick, Carrie says, I really enjoyed this read. And Carrie, thank you for reading along. We absolutely love it. So all of the Peter banter is fun. The only problem I had with it was that it should have either skipped out on the Aunt May, Gwen, and MJ altogether, like just peeking at them but not talking to them, or been giving a bit more attention. It felt a bit forced, like something they felt they were needed to be included but didn't really want to.
It's still rocked my world when we got there.
Well, so Jeremy, was that everything you had to say? I'm sorry, I feel like I cut into your analysis.
I have no idea. I had no direction. I was just blathering.
Okay,
so go ahead.
Leo, what did you think?
Oh, you don't want to know what I thought?
Yes, please.
Oh,
yeah, we do.
I want to know what you thought.
I fucking loved it.
Okay.
I read the whole thing in one sitting. This is what I miss from Spider-Man. Like, I get so lost in, we were talking about earlier, Spider-Man being rebooted every 5 issues or whatever. And, Spider-Man not being Spider-Man. Oh, he's Doc Ock now for some reason. Or there's clones. It's not Spider-Man at all. It's like, I want a fucking awesome Spider-Man story where we're getting him, like, poking fun at his the people that he's fighting, and just good-natured Spider-Man. And we got that in this. Like, I love the dialogue. I just the artwork is amazing. Just everything about this I absolutely loved. And in reading this, seeing where into the Spider-Verse they picked a couple things to pull into, I thought that was friggin' awesome.
Yeah, this was my first time reading anything much from the Ultimate Universe. And
right, Jeremy, I was supposed to get you that list. Fuck.
This introduction is really good, though. Like, this was really cool.
I was supposed to give you that list because when we covered Ultimate Hulk versus Wolverine, right? I totally forgot about that. I got you on.
Damn you, Drew.
Now, I gotta say,
nobody ruin it for me.
I'm sorry.
But I need to go back and find out how Peter Parker originally passed.
Yeah, we won't. But we won't. I trust me. It's heartbreaking. Rich, what were you saying?
Well, actually, Leo just got to it. I found it really interesting that Ultimate Tony Stark was baffled by the technology of our, the 616 reality. We don't really see that too often. And I also thought it was interesting that our 616 Peter Parker mentions that his Tony Stark doesn't drink, and and he's like, "Oh, I like him better already."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a nice little jab because that was one of the big differences when the Ultimate Universe came on, is that Tony is still an alcoholic genius trillionaire. Yeah, they definitely alluded to that. I thought that was pretty funny. I think also was really amusing is that if you've ever read a lot of the Ultimate Universe, Captain America is very much a big part of that world, and we didn't really see him in this book. It was really like the Ultimates were essentially Thor, Hawkeye.
Yeah, even when they brought on other heroes, there was no Cap.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. So I feel like this Tony is still a genius in certain ways, Rich, but I feel like he's not 616 level. You know what I mean?
Right.
You get the idea that he's a bit younger. He's got some limits. Like he's a genius, but he's got some limits that I feel like 616 doesn't have, simply because of experience. But they're still very much Tony Stark,
Right. And although I rarely disagree with Carrie, I can see her point a little bit with MJ, because the MJ really didn't get properly pulled into the story. But Gwen and Aunt May really felt essential to grounding Peter in both realities.
I just wish it was a little bit longer.
Yeah, I feel like, honestly, Rich, I agree with her in that maybe if we had one more issue that could have gone into it a little bit more, and maybe more about their Peter, that could have been cool. And maybe that issue could have explored Peter meeting the ultimate Mary Jane and,
Right.
that kind of thing.
And I think we all agree that this could have gone 2 or 3 more
but
issues.
it did
But it looked
rock
like
me.
he was just going for a concise, short, solid story. And
Indeed.
Yeah, there
But-
was no filler. You bang, 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 right through.
And I will say this, because the humor is just so spot on, and there's some moments in here that I really loved. One of them's coming up, but one that, Rich, I know you and me shared. It's where Peter is admitting that Ultimate Nick Fury is totally cooler than his Nick Fury, which I believe is in the previous issue. Leo, if you wouldn't mind flipping back to that, please.
Yeah, just real quick, I thought this was hilarious. Tony Stark saying he wants to go through the portal, and Nick Fury's, no, you're not going. Just for a day,
Oh yeah, just for I'm just admiring it. Yeah, can you admire it from over here? And you just that he knows Tony, that he's too eager to explore. He's like, can you admire it from over here?
Step away from the portal.
Yep, it's up. Wait, a little bit more, Leo. It's the next one.
Dude, when May realizes that's her Peter,
No.
that
No,
destroyed me.
Leo, you were in the right issue. I was just saying it was the next page.
You've gone too far.
Yep. No, keep going. A little more. To us. What?
One back.
Wait a second. Hold on. Scroll down.
that was down.
Damn it. Where
What
is
page
it?
was it on?
Just tell us the scene you're looking for.
No, it's the one where he says where he says,
Oh, right.
you're totally right there.
Right there.
Right there. That one.
Oh, in the car, yeah.
Yeah. You're totally cooler than the Nick Fury I knew. How is he? Well, he's white. And then Nick Fury's like, sorry to hear that. I was like, I can't. It's such a small moment, but it's so fucking funny.
Well, it's also poignant because you almost forget at this point that Marvel's Nick Fury used to be a white guy. He's been now the Samuel L. Jackson character from when he started at the Ultimate Universe, and that ended up carrying over character-wise in the regular 616 universe. So,
well, yeah, exactly. And they've made it that version of Nick Fury is his son, like his son out of wedlock from something like that. So he's the one who's running S.H.I.E.L.D. So our Nick Fury, the one that we've known for years, eye patch, Mr. Fantastic hair, can't trust him for shit, still there, but his son is really running the show more because they're going with a familiar thing.
You think they'll ever do the David Hasselhoff variant in the MCU?
Boy, if they do, I'll die.
That would be hilarious.
In the multiverse? Why not?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So,
they just, I don't know if you saw it, but they brought him into the Goldbergs.
Oh, did they?
And
oh my God, did they?
They didn't de-age him or anything. He like as old as he is now, but he's playing himself like from the 80s. It was hilarious.
That's funny.
Hasselhoff?
Hasselhoff, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, that's pretty funny.
Hilarious.
So, I mean, this was all wrapped up really nice, but I'm sorry. Peter's advice to Miles is just one of the like this. Oh my God. Like I every time I reread it, it still makes me laugh. Like,
yeah, the last panel. No, listen, this is the most important thing I can possibly tell you about being Spider-Man. This is as true as it gets. If you ever see, and it blanks out right there.
That's
love it.
Yeah, for me, I loved like, what was it? No clones.
Yeah.
If you ever loan money to someone named Wolverine or Mockingbird, you're never going to see it again.
There's a lot of good ones in there.
Yeah, there's this, and I like how Miles is like, he's just like, should I be writing this down? Like, there,
Yeah. And this was so good. I finished this at like almost 11 o'clock at night, and I was like, all right, I'm going to jump into Spider-Man 2. And I got like halfway through the first issue, and I'm like, okay, I need a much clearer headspace for this one.
Is it much more?
There was a lot of time jumping in like half an issue, and I was like, all right, I'm confused. I know they're going to clear it up later, but I'm going to start over fresh after having just read a whole series.
Well, I
love how they end this one with Peter looking to see if there's a Miles in this universe.
Well, that's what hooked me to start the second.
Oh yeah.
Wait, I have all the dialogue for that scene. Can I please read it out loud?
Go for it.
The Peter Spiles. All right. So, don't let anyone clone you. Seriously. And only date one girl at a time.
Oh yeah.
And if you find out a guy named Dr. Octopus is going to marry my Aunt May, stop it. And don't let anyone named Wolverine or Mockingbird money. You'll never see it again. And once you beat up the bad guy, leave the crime scene as soon as possible because they'll try to make you clean it up. And wash your costume like daily because it will get funky and people will make fun of you. And no matter what, never. Should I get a pen? No, listen, this is the most important thing I could possibly tell you about being Spider-Man. This is as true as it gets. If you ever see a
Time warp.
Yep, beautiful. And then on top of it, what I thoroughly enjoy is that at that time, Mysterio, this is why Mysterio, you didn't see Mysterio at that time. He was jailed in the Ultimate Universe. So I'm like, what a reasonable reason for why you don't see Mysterio for a while. He's not there.
Right.
You know? Just, again, so beautifully well thought out. Like, the whole series is just gorgeous. So, when they did the sequel, I was still sold. And they did take it in a bit of a different direction, but it's still great. But...
Is it still Bendis?
It's still Bendis. It's still Pacelli. I think it was Pacelli. It might have been Pacelli or Marquez. Either one. They were two of Bendis's frequent collaborators back in the Ultimate era. So, but love the book.
What year is this, Drew?
It's 2012.
2012.
Okay.
Wow, that's a
hair
decade.
over a decade.
We're
Yep.
old.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. I remember when this came out because the Ultimate Universe, I was reading Miles stuff, and to have this crossover was a pretty exciting premise at that point. Well, and Bendis delivered.
He did. And you know what, Rich? Like, it's funny because at one point they were talking about a crossover between the Ultimate and the Marvel would be some sort of sign that Marvel had run out of ideas. Like, it was looked at like this bad thing. And it's funny because, Rich, in the past they had done like what were called their fake outs. Because remember when they introduced Marvel zombies in the Ultimate Fantastic Four, you went in and you thought, oh, hey, like the way this is looking, it's like they're going to cross over. And then the twist was it was the Marvel Zombies universe. So they've done those before, but this was officially the big one. And then years later, they'd cross over again, but that was during Secret Wars. So, yeah.
Listen, they tried with Ultimate Universe. It worked for a while. It was way better. I'm trying to remember what their first reboot universe was called, where the Star brand came from.
Oh,
fuck, I know this.
They were all going blank out, but that was an utter disappointment.
Are you talking Heroes Reborn?
No. I'm talking about like way back.
Oh, you said Star brand, right?
Yeah, where Star brand was originally originated. Marvel tried like I don't know, it was like called New Universe, and like that's where like Star brand originated. And there was a bunch of different titles that just, I don't even think it lasted a year. It was
the Masters of the Universe came out in that publication.
New Universe, is that what it was?
Yeah, it sounds about right. New Universe.
Yeah.
It's New Universe. It's New Universe, right? That was in the late 80s, 86, 89, right?
See, I still have some brain.
Yeah, that did not work out.
Leo's all smiles.
I know
over
Leo
there.
did not want to have a super long show, and we've been pretty concise
We
on
hit
this show. So how about we rate this bad boy? And Leo, why don't you set it off, and we'll do it clockwise.
Okay, I am going to give this 4.5 web shooters. Thwip.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Good stuff.
I am going to go close to Leo. I'm going to go 4.35. What does he call them? Web zaps, Drew?
Oh, the Venom.
The Venom stings.
Venom stings. All right. 4.35 Venom stings.
Oh, it's got to be different.
Zap, zap.
I'm going to go 4.65.
Oh.
I'm going to go thwip.
Okay.
Flips. All right. And Drew, wrapping it up with?
I'm going to give this...
on camera, please, sir.
I hate you both. I'm going to give this 4.65 Triskelions. So that's a lot of Ultimates. Honestly, this was a great book. I'm so glad we all pretty much rate this pretty highly. I think also, just briefly, this is a great thing to read and kind of act as an introduction, because you don't need to know too much about the Ultimate Universe in order to appreciate, which I think is a testament to Bendis, because this could have been super continuity heavy. He made it very effortless. And I agree with Leo. This is just a fun book, and I really miss that with Marvel Comics. And to be quite honest, this is what I'm excited about, because spoiler, sometime this year, the Ultimate Universe is coming back. They're relaunching it. And this will be written by Jonathan Hickman, which, if you guys paid attention to what he did with the Avengers and the X-Men back in the day, like recently, I'm very excited, because this is going to be great. And it will be drawn by Brian Hitch, who worked on the Ultimates with Mark Millar in the early days of the Ultimate Universe. So I'm very excited. I think this is going to be a great restart to the book. So when it comes out, I will be buying that.
Well, I hope he leans more towards the Avengers Hickman than the X-Men Hickman, because the X-Men Hickman was fucking confusing.
Yeah, we're not going to go there. But yes, so Leo, that's the show. Sign us off, my man.
Okay, we're going to wrap it up. But just real quick, one thing I forgot to mention. If you didn't see it, this week's episode of Saturday Night Live, they have Professor X.
I did see that.
Oh my God. And he's a total like dick to the people. Yeah, it's hilarious.
He's always yelling.
Yeah. But I want to thank everybody for watching this fine evening. For me, just Google Leo Pond. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. I'm not going to say which is which. But, I run a Dorkening podcast network. We got a ton of shows on the network. There's a lot of awesome people doing a lot of awesome stuff like these great gentlemen here for Splash Pages. And I do a couple other shows during the week. I do the Dork Night, Comics Paradox, and also Still Token with those guys over there. And the Weekend, it's not Weekend Geek. What are we calling it? Midweek Geeks.
Midweek Geeks.
Midweek Geeks.
Yeah, so a lot of great stuff. And we will kick it off with Jar Jar.
Hey, come see me Saturday and Sunday over at Connecticut GamerCon at Mohegan Sun, where I'll be hanging with Kyle Abear. And sorry, David Hayter had to cancel. Caitlin Glass is going to be there, and Marta Svitek, and Roger Clark, the voice of Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption 2, will be there. And also, if you want to buy, sell, trade, or just hang out with your comic books and stuff, come check me out on Facebook at Comic Book Lovers Buy, Sell, Trade, and Auction. It's a good time. 20,000 other people there hanging out, buying, selling, trading. Over to you, Drew.
It's me, Mario. No, but I'm not Drew Mario. Hi, everybody. When I'm not here every Tuesday, I'm doing things. I'm busy. I don't know. I don't really think this part out too much because this is at the end of the show and my brain is spent remembering all the facts so these guys don't have to. But I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, GhostbusterMan1984, as these idiots will say it one more time at least. I'm also a writer for Screen Rant, trying in vain to be one of the world's authorities on the Ultimate Universe and Ghostbuster comics in general. It's a work in progress. So I'm here. I'm there. Leave a message after the beep.
Beep.
Velvet, take us out.
Hey, it's your man, Velvet Joker, the Throwback King. And I don't know what to say tonight, but I'm having a great week. It's snowing out. We're all dealing with a storm, some with more than others. And I'm doing good on TikTok, Velvet Joker 1. Also on YouTube, Velvet Joker 1. Got over 125,000 views in the last month. Killing it, doing it, building. Good night.
Catch you guys later. Bye.